Warrapa Bush, throw to the line out. It's a little messy. The ball's been turned over. Quick ball. Mark Childs rushes on D, slips off the tackle. Danger here. Fly time, poor defence from the Warrapa Bush first 5. That was some of the worst defence I've seen in the short Warrapa Bush history.
And to start the show off, first of all, we want to thank our sponsors. You guys have been absolutely epic. Your barbershop authority, awesome work, mate. Ray White, pick the score. Has jackpotted this week.
You guys are going good. You must be happy with the score at this stage.
Get that alpaca for me.
It looks good. It looks very good. Make the title.
Check it out, right down. How long is it? People need a grey down. People need a grey down. It's huge. Breakdown at your 2021 Moose Company Cup champions.
Space. Inside the Tommy Lau try. That's the grand final.
Oh, the Carlton supporters are on their feet. They are clapping. The flags are waving. That is a massive moment in the game.
Good morning and welcome to the Childsy and Persico show, brought to you by Warrapa Bush live on Facebook. We hope that you're as excited as we are for 2023 because we've got heaps of prizes, giveaways, all sorts of stuff happening. Childsy, we were at Y Bush HQ during the week catching up with Tony Hargood to see him before we obviously aired the show, and we were blown away with what happened. Explain.
We were. Well, it was a great chat with Tony, and it'll be put on later on the show.
Yep.
But look, there is quite a lot of fan mail that's coming. I don't know. You indulge us, Persico.
Well, look, we got there and like Childsy said, there was all this fan mail there waiting for us, and we're just sort of lucky that we've got a CEO like Tony Hargood that has so much time on his hands. So he offered to go through all this fan mail for us, and he's picked out a couple of letters. We haven't read them, and he just wants us to read these out and acknowledge those fans that obviously are supporting the show. So, Childsy, what we'll do, I've got a couple of letters here. You open that one. You start, hey?
Okay, whip one over. All right. Interesting. Quite a lot of writing here.
Oh, geez, here's.
Down the bottom. It's from Peter Beach. All right. Dear Persico, I am sorry for telling you to F off at half-time in last year's grand final. I did agree to do the half-time chat.
You did.
However, at the time I was feeling under pressure, was laying all over the ruck and getting pinged by Pano, and the game was slipping away. Please accept my apology, and I hope you invite me on the rugby show this season. Yours faithfully, Peter Beach.
Oh, Beachy, look, I accept your apology, Beachy, I really do. The rugby show coming on the show, look, let's just baby steps for now. It's something we can work towards anyway, but I do accept the apology. Okay, I've got one here as well, and it's from Nick Olsen. Nick Olsen, hey, thanks, Nick, for sending in a letter to us. And it starts off with Coach. So I guess he's referring to you.
Former coach.
Former coach. But Coach, I know we are supposed to go through Potsy for all of the important things, but you might be able to help here. I've got 13 more games to play for Warrapa Bush before I get to 100. If you get that new Warrapa coach, Reece Robinson, on your show, can you put in a good word for me? He's actually on the show. Yeah, well,
Cully.
It's Cully.
Cully's written that.
Signed Cully. Look, it's handwriting.
Well, he's in Australia at the moment.
Well, yeah, it's obviously been sent in by post.
Well, Cully, all I can say to you, mate, is get back from Aussie and start playing rugby.
Oh, don't wind Childsy up here. Now, we actually have Reece Robinson on the show next week with James Goodyear as well.
We do. It'll be a great
so,
show.
Cully, just you better hope that I don't get to him first, otherwise your message might not get across. All right, so, Boda, over to you, mate.
And he's got advantage there. Great playing an advantage. They got a free shot. Lewis Bush with a cutout ball. That's a Cassini on the wing.
He hits it. Morena to Tony Lyford, who's joined us on the show this season for our first show, a.k.a. Boda. Now, you've heard the commentary in the intro. This guy's got a future in commentary. Tommy Lau, boom. Yeah, Boda.
I love
Hats
it.
off to you, mate. Hats off to you and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Morena, fellas. Hey, really, really good to be here. Obviously passionate about the rugby and passionate about Warrapa Bush rugby, so it'd be nice to come and have a chat and jump on the show.
Now, hey, tell us a little bit about the commentary team. You and BG are getting together. You're doing a pretty cool job there. The sideline commentators are letting you down with me and Childsy, but tell us about that, because that's pretty cool, and we're doing more live streams this year too.
It's genuinely a lot of fun. I mean, we have a lot of fun up there, and you can probably hear that from the commentary.
Yeah.
We're both passionate rugby rugby men, and our BG's obviously doing a lot of work at the moment with the women's team, the Wahine Toa, which is pretty exciting. Along with Scotty Collins there, and so we get up there and we've sort of got our combination going now. Which is pretty cool. We got different roles.
And then just throw Childsy and Persico in there, and it gets the combination way out.
Stuff it up completely.
Well, it's not our fault. It's the microphones aren't working.
It is the microphones.
Just don't blame the technology.
Well, the technology
There's
hasn't
shit
been
on the
working.
sideline, let's face it.
We are going to give it another crack pretty soon in the next 3 weeks, but we'll talk about that shortly.
bless.
And we have our man Toby there, who always sits on the left of us there.
Toby doesn't help us out. He's our producer here. Talk about commentaries. This is probably one of the best I've seen. Have a look at this. Check this out. This is weather.
Weather conditions. Look, it's cold. It's pretty chilly, 9 degrees, but there's no rain.
Definitely no rain.
Very little wind out here, so we should be in for a crack.
It's not going to rain today. Leave your umbrellas at home.
Maintain the lead following the earlier try and penalty, but that misty rain has certainly well settled in.
It has, Childsy.
On the sideline. Thank goodness Mark Childs is not a meteorologist. That's all I can say.
So, Childsy, I think the next live stream game I might take a groundhog to the game, and that can do the weather report. Oh, that'd be more accurate, wouldn't it?
I would recommend.
Okay, hey, Childsy caught up with CEO Tony Hargood during the week, and have a look at the interview. It's pretty informative.
I'm here with Tony Hargood, the CEO of What Up Bush Rugby. Tony, the biggest impact you feel this season?
Look, I think the biggest thing for 2023 is going to be no COVID this year. Kick off on April 15th, no interruptions. Straight through the lane pin, straight through to the Moose Carpentry. It's going to be fun.
It will be fun to watch, that's for sure. So tell us a little bit about the clubs and the registration numbers that you've seen so far.
Look, I think the big thing about registrations is that we're seeing good numbers coming through. So just having a look at the numbers this morning, all the clubs are looking pretty healthy. Good news is one extra team in the reserve competition this year. So the Greytown Cardinal amalgamation is now back to the individual clubs, so that's really exciting. JB going through the roof. We're up about 200 registrations on this time last year, and the secondary schools in Ripper's looking pretty good. So look, pretty promising.
Good news, Tony. Tell us a little bit about this Lane Pen final weekend.
Well, it's a new initiative. I think the Lane Pen was played in the by the two teams in the second round of the Moose Company. This year, it's all at the park, the whole 4 games. Top 2 teams from both sides of the pool will play out here. We'll live stream it as well, and all the other teams will play for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th. Plus, there's an incentive for the clubs to turn up because they get some bonus points going into the Moose Carpentry. So that's going to be a great day. So a mini club finals and really a chance to celebrate, the Lane Pen and the Lane Pen Cup.
So, Tony, I hear there's a new sponsor for the What Up Bush Rugby team this year, front of jersey. Can you tell us who?
Yeah, well, it's going to be the Copthorne, Solway Park, front of jersey. They've signed up for 3 years. Actually, great news. So thank you to Trust House. It's been great to have the farriers, but the Copthorne is where we're sort of heading with their branding, and also helping us and the teams that come and visit here as well. And so it's just exciting. It's great that an organisation like that can be behind us. Also, we've got some news coming out on another Heartland sponsor in a couple of weeks' time, so watch out for that space as well.
Watch the space, people. And look, more exciting news, the appointment of Rhys Robinson for the head coach of Copthorne Wairarapa Bush. I know Rebo personally. I think he's going to add a lot to this side. From your perspective, what do you think he'll bring?
Oh, look, I think we had some great applicants. It was Rebo is obviously a Tararua College old boy. He actually played in the Wairarapa secondary schools, played in New Zealand secondary schools, Chiefs, Hawke's Bay, and Manawatu. Look, I think the biggest thing is he's coming home. He's got the affinity to our region. He knows the people, and people know Rebo. The work that he's doing with the clubs at the moment is just incredible. The feedback we've had from the clubs has just been so positive. And on top of that, we're also he wants to video all the senior games this year. So, and that's going into a portal for the Premier coaches. That's already ready to go. So he's lifting us a level and assisting into the club scene.
So, Tony, we've got a goblet here that you found in the archives. Please tell me, what is this all about?
Well, we had our delayed 50th last year, and anyway, I got a phone call from a guy in North Harbour up there in Auckland. He said, I've got a cup. It's been sitting in my granddad's garage. He said, I want to send it down to you. Didn't know too much about it. So this was delivered, and it's quite a special cup. So I'm actually going to hand it over. We've had a bit of a chat off screen about this. And just for you to give a bit of history about what this cup is.
Sure thing, Tony. So presented to East Coast Football Clubs by P. Hamill in 1905. So Matakona have won it in 1905 and they won it the following year, but it hasn't been played for since. So, bit of breaking news. We have heard that the Matakona Rugby Football Club has been reformed and re-registered. Tony, is that the rumour you've heard?
Paperwork's here.
Paperwork's there. This goblet will be a challenge goblet, currently held by Matakona. So, if you're interested, Millhillians, people like that, sing out.
Now, what Tony Hargood did touch on there was the Lane Pen Cup final.
Yes, he did, and this is a fantastic development in the club rugby.
This is new.
This is new, so it's changed from last season, people. So last season there was a town versus country. This season it's north versus south. So you will still be split up to groups of 4.
Yep. Which is the same as town country. Which,
yes.
Yeah.
It's just different teams in different groups. However, when it comes down to you've played your first round, the top 2 seeds in north versus south will play off for the Lane Pen Cup on Lane Pen Cup finals weekend, which will be start of the second round. And the great thing about it is 2 plays 2, 3 plays 3, and 4 plays 4, all at Trust House Memorial Park on the same day.
Same day.
On the same day. And we understand, when 4 plays 4, there's not a lot of motivation in that type of game. But let's go tell us what would be the motivation.
A lot of teams have treated this as a pre-season, and so to avoid the 4ths or 3rds not showing up for that game because they don't want to get injured or whatever heading into the Moose Company Cup, if you turn up to play, which all teams will anyway, you get 3 competition points which roll over to the Moose Company Cup. So if you avoid that playoff game, the Lane Pen, then you're 3 competition points short.
So if there's 7 teams that turn up and you're the one that doesn't,
then they all get
3 points behind.
That's you're 3 points
every
behind.
Every team's going to turn up, which is a great incentive. The senior reserves grade that weekend will not be playing.
Yeah, they've got the weekend off.
Therefore, the teams might choose to perhaps beef up their teams a little bit and give guys a bit of a chance, subject to rules, in the Prem grade. So I think it's a great development.
Well, that's right. You could, if you did come fourth, you could give your senior reserves a run in that game and rest some of your better players for the Moose Company. I mean, that's fine as long as you.
And what else will happen on the day? There's going to be a sponsorship happening from myself.
Oh, this is massive again.
Yes. So we're going to run Sneens Day on that day, something I was passionate about in the 1980s.
Ray White Sneens Day. Now this is
look out.
Now this is also Retro Day as well. So get your old club rugby jerseys out. Get your bloody what was it? The big sunnies, the mirror glasses. The mirror glasses. Spike your hair up.
Get some tie-dye jeans on.
Yep. So go and
get your Sneens out.
Go and raid Tony Life Discovered.
I'm going to put up a big price. I'm going to put up a big prize for this.
Now, when you say big prize, what are we talking?
I'll come up with this in probably another 4 weeks.
Another 4 weeks to see how the market moves from there.
Yes, the market's tough at the moment, but given the fact that, on average, this show has cost me about $3,000.
It has.
But what I would say is I will be supporting that day.
Okay, fantastic. It's going to be a massive day. Get down there and enjoy it. Now, the What About You campaign, Childsy, do you want to quickly explain what it's about? Because there's heaps of giveaways and promotion.
I will.
Things. There you go.
So, Persico and myself are now been announced official ambassadors for the What About You.
Official ambassadors. And I've had a month, not a month off the grog, but a month.
Well, you haven't binge drinked in a month, which is a great thing.
It's not binge drink. I haven't. Yeah.
You haven't been drunk, which is great, Pesco, and well done.
Boda, you don't even drink at all, do you?
No, I don't.
Very good.
So, Boda, you haven't.
You can be in the club too. You can be in the What About You club.
I haven't drunk really seriously for about 20 years.
For 20 years, and look, I think the thing about the What About You campaign, it's all about looking after your mates, whether you're male or female. The bottom of this poster that will be displayed in every club. What about you? And I'll read it out to everyone. Is a Wairarapa Community Alcohol, Drug and Mental Wellbeing campaign. Wairarapa Bush is actively involved in the campaign as part of our commitment to player wellbeing. For more information, visit the website www.whataboutyou.co.nz or follow the campaign on Facebook and Instagram. The What About You campaign and the people behind it are amazing people, and they are investing a lot of funds and time, effort and energy into our club rugby season, men and women. The message is, if you're struggling, just reach out. You got to talk to someone. Most people have been through strife in their life.
Yep.
Most people in their families have had someone that suffered from mental illness. I mean, it is something that is in our communities and our families. The message is, there's always someone to talk to. It's nationwide, but we're actually really honing in on the rugby season this year. What about you involved in other sports and things? But we're really getting behind this. So if you're struggling out there, you just have to reach out. You'll be surprised at the results you will get.
We hear you, Childsy. We hear you.
Absolutely love the concept.
Look, thanks, Bodo. These guys are doing a really cool thing for the clubs as well. So the first round today, they are supplying a Player of the Day prize. So this is senior reserves and also senior rugby. So the Player of the Day from each side will get one of those Wairarapa Bush hats, which they're really cool. And also a boot bag, drink bottle, with also $20 Subway voucher, and also some more What About You campaign information. So for the Player of the Days, or the guys doing the speeches out there today, please acknowledge the What About You campaign and try and help get this message across, because these guys are doing a lot for Wairarapa Bush rugby.
Just put the hat on, Persico, to, covers what's going on top there.
Oh, it does cover. Now, talking about covering what goes on top, I went to Barbershop Geordie the other day and got myself a new fresh cut. So does Childsy come in here for a haircut much?
Yes, the legend of Mark Childs, he comes in here.
Yeah.
He's losing today.
Oh, bro, he's been like that for ages. He tells me the same story about a rugby game like 10 times in one night.
Not as mine, as hair.
Oh, what? I've noticed the top skin a bit thin, eh?
When he first came in, there used to be a massive pile of hair. I'd be sweeping the floor hard out after his haircut, but now there's not really too much on the ground anymore.
He's getting a bit sensitive about it, and with the What About You campaign, it's about looking out for your mates. So is there anything that you can recommend?
Well, he's a real estate agent, and I always see him, he has really nice shiny shoes, so I'm sure he's got some boot polish in the cupboard somewhere.
But again, those real estate agents aren't making a lot of money right now. The market's dying off. You pulled out of the pick the score.
Geez, you've got really thick hair, Anton. You're going to have that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Childsy might have got all the brains, but I think you've got the wisdom streaks.
Yeah, 100%. The George Clooney greys are coming out.
Just give that to Childsy. It's half price because it's only half the amount of hair.
Okay, sweet. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate it. Oh, cheers, Barbershop Geordie. That's epic. Good on you, Geordie. That is epic. Thanks, Geordie. And Childsy, here's your half-price voucher from Geordie.
I'll take that. Thank you, Geordie. Barbershop Geordie.
It's good just going.
Calling you George Clooney. My God. That is a disgrace. Would you agree?
It's the George Clooney greys. let me just bring this up. So we got our Facebook page, though, Childsy. Are you going to explain the launch of this?
Well, I could, but there's only 2 followers.
It's
nothing to write home.
And those two are myself, and somehow Hayden Mead's a sneaky little.
I did like it. I did like it today.
Oh yeah, we got 3. We got 3 at this
Good
stage.
on you, Hayden, mate, get in there.
Yeah. So Meadsy somehow, while he was scoping through every website on the planet for whatever he's looking for, came across the Childsy and Persico show out there at Riversdale Beach. And so this is our new Facebook page. So we've got a competition going. So you can win a Barbershop Geordie voucher. Right, and you have to like the page, follow. What do you do? Like the page, follow.
Just like the page.
Share it too. You got to share it with your friends.
Just like it.
Just like it.
Just like it.
Okay.
We've only got 3 likes, Persico, so
yeah,
we need more likes.
So if we can get up to 6 likes by the end of today, we'll be stoked.
What I would say, people listening, is that there's going to be some footage on there that you won't see on the show, which is...
That's right. It's
reasonably entertaining.
A little bit more of the
that way.
Uncensored footage, you could say.
Words.
If the odd video.
We abuse each other quite a lot.
Yeah, but that's off air, obviously. So one other thing that we put up on our Facebook and Wairarapa Bush is the under 85s national club competition coming up.
Well, that won't be me and Boda.
Well, yeah, well, obviously. I reckon. You were supposed to bring scales today.
Not since I was about 12.
You don't want to bring them. You're avoiding
when I'm
bringing
10
them.
kg over, brother.
Why would you ask someone who's 10 kg over to bring scales?
Yeah, pushing shit up here.
All right, so this is a pretty cool competition, though. This is a massive knockout competition with clubs from all over New Zealand. Wairarapa Bush asking for, if you're keen, to come along next Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, to just have a chat and see if we can form a side. So if you're keen, get involved.
So what about ages there, guys? Like, are we...
It doesn't matter. No age. It's weight.
Just weight, right?
All weight.
So from first 15 to senior A?
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Doesn't matter.
Dropped out of rugby because you fear you're going to get smashed. this is a national competition. It's a great incentive, I feel, for players to get back involved in rugby. Under 85
Exactly.
kgs. There's under 85 kg competitions throughout the country.
There is.
Yep. But we don't have anything here in the bush.
I watched the final last year.
Yeah.
It was actually really impressive. It's a crazy game to watch because the props are the same size as the first fives and wingers, right? So it's good fun.
Yep. And also, though, we're missing that Colts division too. So if there's any Colts out there that are that 19 that they sort of can't fit into that senior competition or they can't go into the school competition, it's ideal for them as well.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, great initiative.
Yep. Okay, cool. Now, we've got a new sponsor for Pick the Score because in the Barbershop Geordie interview, you would have noticed that Ray White has pulled the pin.
But look, no, I'll just reiterate, I am still sponsoring.
Oh, no, we understand that.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, we know. We know. It's okay.
I've mentioned this.
I know you have. I know you have. We'll edit that part out. So our new sponsor, and me and Childsy really do need this on the show, is Hub Legal. So we get Hub Legal is sponsoring Pick the Score, but we also get 2 or 3 hours free legal advice per month, Childsy, if we need it.
We probably bloody need it.
Yeah, well, we will need it. So how the Pick the Score works this year is it's $200. Starts at $200. And we're not going to tell you the games yet. There's a bit of a change to that. And each week it's not struck, it will jackpot by $200. All right, until it's struck. And that's basically it.
So what's the game this week then?
Well, we'll get to the game shortly. Okay, should we just say it? Okay, you can pick any game you like. Right. So out of the 4 Prems games that are going on today, you can choose any game you like. You obviously have to, in the comments below, you write the team that you want to win and then the score. Because there is a possibility that 4 people get 4 games. All right. In the past, you couldn't pick the same score. You still can't pick the same game and score. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But you can choose a different game. If 2 people strike it, then they split the 200. If 3 people, they split it. Yeah, if you're the only person.
It's going to jackpot to thousands, isn't it?
It's going to be harder to get, I think.
Well, it's going to be
because there's more of a spread on points and games.
It'll be pretty tough this week.
Yeah, but at least you can back your own team if you wanted to.
Yep.
All right.
Some really good games this week.
And that's, well, hey, Hub Legal have got terms and conditions and all sorts coming out anyway, so...
Given that it is far more complicated.
Well, it isn't more complicated. Just choose the game you want, pick the score and get it right.
Just pick a game and that's the pick the score game, in my opinion. Then everyone knows. It's like, bang.
Hey, if you want to sponsor it, then you can make the rules. Okay, hey, let's actually talk about a bit of rugby for a change, yeah?
Yeah, we should get on to the
All right, let's go into the senior reserves with Mark Childs.
Well, I can probably start. I can probably start off for you on the senior reserves there. So there's a
job. There's a senior reserves.
So there's a couple of games in the senior reserves that are with their ace. So that's the Carterton Greyhound Max Wilson, Childsy.
The Max Wilson Cup. It is a special trophy for the senior reserves of those 2 clubs.
It is.
And,
it is.
First round, man, it's all on, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is.
It's absolutely all on for the first game of the season, which is I don't know if that's ever happened before.
No, it hasn't.
The pressure's on. That's going to be massive there at Carterton this weekend, Boda.
It is.
Along with the Grant Cup, of course, but we'll touch on that later in the Prems comp.
There'll be a really, really good crowd there too. Down at Carterton, it's really well supported. The Grant Cup there and there. We'll talk about that later, but there'll be a great crowd there. It'll be all go. It'll be great.
Be fantastic. What other games have we got in the senior reserve?
So then the other, we've got the Marist Pioneer. They've got the same game also in their ace. So both games at Marist.
Good draw. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a really good draw, right? Like, I really like how they've done it. And that'll be, early in the season, it's going to depend a lot on the numbers for those sides. I've watched Marist and Pioneer over the last couple of years in the reserves, and they fluctuate.
Talk about numbers. I was at Tuarangi training, and there would have been 35 dudes at that training. Yep. And that was 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
Massive.
Yeah, I had a chat to Scotty Dormer. He was talking a bit about it, and he said they've got really good numbers down there, and they're pretty excited about the SCs. And they're always one of the powerhouses, Tuarangi, in that division. You know, like every year they're really, really good, and the Stewie Weatherstone employs a few of them down there, and you know, so Tuarangi they're away to Gladdy. So the Gladdy, if you remember last year, they were really, really strong in the thirds last year. So they'd perennially been the sort of the bottom of the thirds.
Yep.
And then last year they had a bit of a stellar year. So it'll be interesting how those Gladdy thirds. I think Stevie Thompson might be in there doing a bit of work with those Gladdy thirds now.
Well, what a legend Steve Thompson is of the Gladstone Rugby Club. Yeah, absolutely. If he's got anything to do with the thirds, the reserves, they're going to go well.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's a really big game, right? Like, because Tuarangi is really, really good. And so that'll be a cracker. That'll be a really good prelude to that game in there too, you know?
So we've got clubs at Greytown and at Carterton. We've got Marist with Pioneer.
Yep.
And we've got Tuarangi out at Gladstone.
Out at Gladdy.
And Marston Red Star
against the Coasties.
against the Coasties. That's a
huge.
tour of a first round in the
It is.
reserves.
It is, right. And, that's the interesting game, because that'll be that's the only game at Colombo. So it'll be good to get down there and support them. They've had a couple of good years. So Marston Red Star are that side that's tried to come up to A's a couple of times. So they're pretty strong, you know.
Yeah, they will be again.
Yep.
With our mate Barry Todd there at the helm of the club, and Chris is coaching again. So yeah, they'll be strong, Marston Red Star. So that competition will be very interesting.
So what do Marston and Red Star want to do though? Do they want to?
They do.
Come up. Is that their intentions to win it and come up and play?
Their goal was
Prems?
to play Premier Rugby. 100% they do.
Yep.
And you know they've just fell out the last sort of hurdle the last couple of seasons in that goal to make the Premier grade. But you know it's going to come down to their recruitment and the players they've got. They've definitely got a great management team, a great club, and a very, very good coach. So it'll all be down to the players that they.
No, that's right. And Wairarapa Bush were good enough, I think, 4 years ago now to put the promotion relegation in.
Yeah.
Turangi, they choose not to go up, and that's absolutely fine. But I believe that the second place team could have a shot if they actually wanted to. You know, so I mean, you don't have to take that game.
Yep.
But it's actually there if you want it.
Yeah.
Which is really, really good. It just gives that incentive if you want to try and get up.
All right, let's get into the Lane Pen Cup.
Yeah, I mean, this is really exciting. I mean, every game again is really, really good. I'm really excited about this competition.
And let's start with the north side here.
We're going to start north.
Yep, let's go north.
Absolutely. This is one of the most exciting years we've had. Like, I find it hard to pick these games straight off the bat.
Yep.
Ikitahuna coached by Craig Pepperell. Pepe's always, does a good job, and it'll be interesting to see who they've recruited. See if they've got anybody coming in or any Palmy boys, or that'll be really interesting to see how they go. And the Eki boys have got Coasties, who we've already spoken a bit about earlier on the show, talking about Richie and then the Coast. And
yeah, Boda, from what I've learned, I would be taking East Coast in this match for sure. Yeah, Eki have been struggling a little with numbers to trainings. So, to win a competition, you need probably 27 to 30 players.
Yeah, agreed.
Not all of them have to be committed, but, if you've got that depth in your club, it's going to help you, when injuries happen, to win those tight games. Look, I'll definitely be going for the Coasties away, although Ikitahuna do get up for East Coast every time. Chuck Anderson, I believe, is unavailable and will not be playing rugby this season.
Okay.
Oh, what's wrong with Chuck?
Yeah, he's injured.
Baby Chuck out.
The baby Chuck's out, so it'll be a massive loss for them. But there's still some awesome rugby players at Iki, but I believe they probably won't have the depth compared to East Coast this weekend.
I hear they have potentially got some Fijians they might be bringing in, though.
Yes, that's the word, possibly, but we're not going to know until this first round kicks off.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
We hear all sorts of rumours. This club's got these players and out of the region, but we're not going to know until this first game's been played.
Yep.
We'll have a real bigger, clear picture
after
next week,
after
this first round.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Coasties are also a bit of a smoky. Like, they've got some really good young players in there, like George Park last year, who played at Hurricanes Heartland.
He did play the Hurricanes Heartland under-20s, which I was part of the coaching group there. George Park's a very, very good young player. He's got a lot of heart. He's got a lot of skill too, and he goes hard. So those types of young guys we need to bring through now. And
if Matt Perry,
Matt Perry, yep. Well, hopefully, yeah. And then we've mentioned Finn Elmers, out there. So if Coast can get those core players back to what they had last season, I believe they just need a game plan that will suit the Coast.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And I've always believed that.
I'm with you. And
I personally believe they've got the man for the job at the helm now.
So do I.
To bring the best out of them. That's what I believe.
And Jack Wakeling at 10.
Jack's a fantastic rugby player.
He's outstanding rugby player.
He's got a great kicking game. He's got vision. Jack can run a game. So, there's a kingpin at 10 there.
Agreed.
And I know Red Eye will tell him straight what he needs to do, and it won't be complicated.
So that'll be an absolute cracker to start the weekend off. That excites me straight away. And the other game in the north,
Marist versus Pioneer.
Yep.
Marist at home. That should be a big one too.
So this is a really interesting game. Like, Pioneer last year started really well. I went and watched the first game, and they started like a house on fire.
Yep. Against Greydown.
Went and watched that game up at Jean Street, and that was a really good game. Pioneer quite often have really good numbers early, and if they get on that roll, they can become really, really hard to play against.
Pioneer came back into the competition, 3 years ago? The first...
Yep.
3 years now. So they have obviously taken those 3 years to build. They should be coming up with something by now, right?
I think they are. I mean, they've had really good numbers to their pre-season.
Yep.
They've got a great coaching group. Through their previous coach, they developed the mana back into the club. And they've got a really strong core of top class players. You know, when you look at Nikota, Reece Kalkin, you know, there are players there that will bond them together. It'll just be the depth that may, as you say, Bodo, that will possibly make them struggle further into the season. But man, if they get on a roll early doors,
I agree.
They're going to be a tough team to beat.
And when they put their top team on the field, you know, when the John T. Millers and when these guys are all fit and they're all ready to go, like they're really hard to play.
Himiona, Haida, like, you know, there's some.
Himiona's awesome. He played Bush 2 years ago when Joe was in charge of the Bush, but he played a few games and he was outstanding for the Bush. And you know, he had open side. Like they've genuinely got some go in them, eh? Like
they have, and Marist, you know, have got massive numbers. As we hear through the pre-season, they've got a young side, but they've got the numbers. So
we've got Goodgie out till around late into Moose Carpenter Cup. Goodgie's out, and obviously they've lost Peter Beach, the captain,
and that's a big blow.
Massive loss, Beach.
It's huge
loss.
Yeah, it is.
That experience, that knowing the game of rugby.
And all the sloughing around the ruck.
When to give away a penalty and when not to.
We love you, Beachy. Oh, I'm still getting over it.
He knows rugby, Beachy.
Yeah.
You know, he knows when to niggle and when not to niggle. You know, he's a clever footballer.
Is Stan Wright Jr. back running for Marist? Because I thought he was probably the player of the day in the final last year. I know that Carterton got up.
Yep. That's right. You did give it to him.
I did.
You gave it to the loser. Losing side,
I thought was it's a bit unusual, but I just thought he was absolutely outstanding. I think he played a couple of games. Might have had a couple of games for the Bush, and he's a really, really good kid. Like
Stan Wright Jr. is coming on as he gets older.
Yep,
exactly.
Oh yeah,
of course. As he matures, he's getting better and better. Yep. So hopefully we see Stan Wright Jr. playing for Marist this season.
Oh, that'd be cool.
All right. So who's taking out this North Division, boys?
Whew. Like, that's really, really tough. I mean, I'm going to go for the Coasties early.
I think it'll be between
Coasties
and Marist, but I'll probably lean towards East Coast given the changes. I mean, Red Eye, it'll take him a bit of time.
Yep.
To get, you know, the trust in the players and what he actually provides them, but once it clicks in their head that he's actually knows what he's doing, I think they'll be an absolute force. So.
They've also had a tough time out at Whareama with the cyclone.
Absolutely.
And that community is awesome at coming together.
Yeah, they're amazing.
When you go and watch games out there, right, like there's always those farmers on the sideline. They always come in. Like I really like that community feel, and they'll get that going.
Yeah.
You know, because they've had a pretty tough couple of months.
They've had a very, very tough.
You know, like there's been a lot of damage. Their road gets closed most of the day. You know, like it ain't been easy for them. You know, like, and that's what I love about the Coasties. You know, they're a great club.
So in the past, was this north-south? It was different, wasn't it? Because Greytown and Carterton were in the town division.
That's right.
That's right. So I'm backing Pioneer to take out the North Division because Pioneer have had a bit of a tough run in the last 3 years because in their town division, they've had Greytown, Marist and Carterton who have all got up into the finals. So I think that...
Finals.
Yeah, in the last 3 finals. So I think they've had a real tough start to the year in the last 3 years because they're just getting battered by these sides that are winning the comp. So I reckon Pioneer are going to ease into it this year and they're going to take out the lane pin.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Nice.
That's my spin on it anyway. Okay, let's go into South.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the Martinborough game, I think that'll be a really, really interesting game down there. So, Martinborough Gladdy. So, what's interesting about that game is up until last year, Gladdy had beaten Martinborough, I think, for the previous 10 years. There'd been a bit of a hoodoo there. Martinborough broke that last year, which is really, really interesting. Well, it's a really good game to go and watch.
It's a little bit of the unknown, isn't it, Bodo?
It is.
Like,
it is.
You know, we're not going to know until after the game, but I think Brucey's up to something, Persico.
Oh, Brucey's always up to something. Look, I've been trying to get hold of Brucey for like 4 different phone calls. He's always pretending he's doing something else. The sneaky little cowboy has got something going on there in Martinborough, and I'm not sure what it is, but you know when Brucey hides, something's happening. When you hear from Brucey all the time and he's texting you, you know, he's normally on the bottom of the table.
When Brucey hides, he is up to something. You know, they've gained a massive signing in Robbie Robinson.
Huge.
To play 5/8.
So
he's going hunting with Perry every second day. Like there's something going on there.
So for everyone out there, Robbie Robinson played for the Stags last year. Played about nine years in Japan. As a professional player, and Pete Smith, who's a Wairarapa Bush and Martinborough legend. I don't know, Pete probably played 150, 200 games for Martinborough and about 60 for Bush. That's his son-in-law. So he's back in Marty living there, and I think Robbie's only about 33.
Yeah.
So he's only, you know, he's got
a gun.
He's a gun, right? Like he's class.
Yeah.
And if you want to go along and watch some class, Go along and just have a look. You know how he'll run the game. I remember
Yeah.
when Sam Monaghan came back a few years ago for Ikitahuna.
Just controlled
Just
everything.
controlled the game, right? And he just changed it. Sam Monaghan, I feel, was pretty classy too. And
Yeah.
I think Robbie's, they've got that class and they just know when to bang corners. They know when to take the gaps and they make people around them better.
I remember being a 5'8", and a young Tony Lyford used to come flying off at flanker and try and kill me every game, didn't you?
I can't deny it at all.
You did. I remember it. Fizzing. He used to like hiss and stuff when he was running.
Absolutely.
It was a good battle. It was a good battle. We enjoyed
Okay,
it.
I'm taking Martinborough for that game.
Yeah, look, so am I.
I've got Marty to win all season, all the way through.
But, I don't know a lot about Gladdy. Gladdy's been really quiet and I don't know what their numbers are like.
With Gladstone, though, it can come out, we're struggling for numbers, but that community out there is a very strong and passionate community.
Yeah.
They're a very proud club. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they bowl down there and roll them.
I know.
Gladdy 19, Martinborough 15 would all go,
Yeah.
that's Gladdy. That's what Gladdy does.
And they do.
So they do. But I think probably Gladdy may have a slower start to the season potentially, but you can never write them off.
So they've got Bargy doing the backs. They got Stan Wright doing the forwards. They've got a couple of good guys there that have played a lot of rugby.
Yeah,
And
very much so.
the other thing I've always with Gladdy, that doesn't seem to matter like what players they put on the field. They come up with a game plan and they stick to it. They're always a
They're a
tough
clever
team.
side. They're a niggly side, and they know how to win.
But I'm going with both of you guys as well. I'm going for Marty.
All right, now Carterton, Greytown. Didn't both of you guys play for both these teams? I know Childsy played for Carterton there for a season in his midlife crisis. You spent some time in Carterton?
I've lived in Carterton for the last 20 years, and my son's played JAB for Carterton. Old CTB there.
You're a sad guy.
Well, you have to say, you both played for Carterton and Greytown. So you guys, who's going to take this one?
Well,
Grant Cup.
Grant Cup. It's the biggest passionate game in local rugby for me. I mean, of course.
Yep.
And you, Boda.
Yep.
Look, Kieran Hurley, new coach for Greytown. There is a very good core of a side at Greytown this season.
Is Potsy involved this year?
No, he's not.
He's not. I'm just asking.
Saying. But there is a very good core of a side. Nick Olsen's in Australia, which will be a bit.
Tell us a little bit more about Nick Olsen being away in the first round of the.
It's a bit of a killer blow for the Grant Cup.
If you go to our Facebook page, I'll show you a video of me and Childsy, which isn't being aired on this show. Childsy blowing up about Nick Olsen.
Loss for the Greytown side.
But is Cyrus back?
Well, Cyrus Baker is back for Greytown. Come back from the Manawatu, the Papua connection, the Prowlers.
Absolutely.
So, if they keep their same 22 on the paddock every week, Greytown, they're going to probably surprise a few teams, in my opinion.
Yep.
There is a core of a very good side there. So a very good forward pack. So it wouldn't surprise me with this Grant Cup up for grabs early season.
Fascinating game.
That it will be.
The word surprise a few teams doesn't really sit with me that they're going to go through and win the competition, Childsy. You don't think that they're strong enough?
Well, I think they possibly could be. It will depend on injuries and the depth of player they can bring in to create that big squad. At the moment, Greytown don't have that 27 to 30 players.
With CTB, like they've built a really good culture there in Carterton.
Yep.
They turned it around about 4 years ago. Steve Hurley at the helm. Like he's awesome rugby man. If you get a chance to have a chat rugby, have a chat with Steve. Like he's top notch.
Yep.
And he's led that club and they've got some great stalwarts there. Just the culture's really good. I know from being part of the JAB. Like their culture's really good and they've worked really hard on it and bringing their young fellas through. And because about 5 years ago they were known as not the best culture in that club and young fellas were leaving and so they've worked really hard at that, Carterton.
Yep.
And they've brought some really good like Tipo, Lela Manu and Logan Wakefield. Logan's done some really good things. He played for the Barbarians, New Zealand Barbarians last year with Tipo. They're both a couple of really good boys and they'll be hard. I don't know if Sam Morrison's back and that's a big loss for them if Sam's not playing.
Yeah, huge loss. But it's a local derby. Carterton smashed Greytown last year in the Grant Cup, which was a horrible experience.
It was
for everyone. But I hope the Greytown guys can feel that hurt and come back and absolutely rip into them on Saturday.
Who's winning this division?
This game?
Well, no,
the division.
Yeah.
Probably Martinborough. There you go. I'm going to throw it out there really, and that's a big.
Yeah.
That's going to.
Martinborough. I reckon Martinborough are hot favourites of the year. They are on.
A few Carterton people are going to be like, "Really? We won the championship last year. We're reigning champs. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, but also remember this is that the team that has lost each year has come back and won it as well. So Carterton may have that hangover going into this year as well.
Possibly, yeah. Jury's out for me. I need to watch a game of rugby. I'm not picking anyone just yet.
Oh.
Oh, I'm happy to pick the pool.
I said that yesterday and you got into me. You said make a decision.
So we're only picking for the...
Make a decision, Childsy.
We're only picking for
You
the
said
lane
this
pen
to
at
me
the moment.
yesterday when I said that exact same thing.
It's only the lane pen. This is not the whole title.
This is for the lane pen.
This is just for the lane
Who's winning the lane pen?
Who's winning the lane pen, you know?
Pioneer. I've got Pioneer. Mark that down. We need a whiteboard here so we can write it down. Pioneer's mine.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go Martin Borough.
Yeah, well, I'll go for Greytown.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching the Childsy and Persico show. And Boda,
no worries.
we will see you next week. And next week we've got James Goodger on the show.
James Goodger.
Yep.
And Reece Robinson.
And Reece Robinson as well.
And make sure everyone out there is getting along to those games, right? The club rugby is awesome to go and watch.
Yep. I reckon we do a Buddha goes through and does a play-by-play analysis on some of these tries too. Buddha, Buddha, Sully, who cares?
You got spiritual.
Who cares? All right.
The Buddha.
Thanks for watching.
That was like an hour.
The mics are still on.
It felt like an hour.
Sing, Childsy. Do a karaoke. You ready? Come on, karaoke.
Well, it's going to want to ring. Would you help me out?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Mike's off.
For hers, for better, for worse, for what it's worth. Second verse, the first curse upon the earth. Mixing up a storm, brewing up a tornado.
Having an abundance of platonic relationships, reminiscent of my man Mike Plato.
I was running down the street just screaming, I was blind, but I lost my voice like I lost my mind. And I couldn't get another, couldn't get another, couldn't get another, couldn't get another, couldn't get another. No! Born to conform to the norm, yawn like a lawn corn. I was born to reform, worn corn, and always thinking and being and running, I'm second, I'm making them up like that. Cause I can't get enough.
Yeah, look, I backed Stars to win the final last year against Tuarangi, and had a bit of a wager with Tora Boyne, and obviously I had to pay the account. So Tora, here was me 15 minutes after training.
I put it on.
Put it on.
It's 7. I've been here for 15 minutes. I had to make up some excuse I had to leave.
Whew. Couple of improvement, fellas. That grass was really, really, really long. I know you're farmers and you're used to walking in long grass all day, but bloody up to my knees. It's hard work. I was really feeling it towards the end there, and that was the end of the warm-up.